On the evening of October 18th, students from Zoucheng No. 1 High School in Jining, Shandong Province, organized a large-scale protest opposing the school's decision to cancel weekend breaks. Videos circulating online show a huge crowd of students gathering in the school corridors, chanting, "Give us a break." One student was seen lying on the floor outside the dean's office in protest. According to internet users, thousands of students joined the demonstration. Students revealed that the protest stemmed from the school's decision to hold a sports event on Sunday, canceling the weekend break. What was originally a 1.5-day break was reduced to just 6 hours on Saturday afternoon. The sudden change sparked strong dissatisfaction, particularly among the sophomore students, who initiated a collective protest during the Friday evening study session to resist what they deemed an unreasonable arrangement by the school. The students explained that their regular studies were highly stressful, and their weekend was their only chance to relax and rest. The sudden cancellation of the break significantly affected their ability to rest and adjust, making them feel that the school did not respect their rights. Zoucheng No. 1 High School is a public high school located in Jining, Shandong Province. Currently, the information about this incident has been censored on Chinese social media. However, related videos were shared overseas, sparking discussions. Comments included, "It's good that they're voicing their opinions. This is how you cultivate laborers, starting from high school with an intense schedule." And, "Luckily, they were just shouting for a break. If thousands of students each held a sheet of blank paper in silent protest, it wouldn't just be the principal, but even the mayor might lose their position if video spread." On September 5th, a protest also broke out at Guangxi Nanjing Technical College after the school banned the use of cell phones. Students demanded refunds in response. Several students reported that the college sent security personnel and instructors to dormitory building number 4 to confiscate students' phones by force, but this action met strong resistance. During the incident, some instructors used violence against a student who refused to surrender his phone. They collectively left their dorms and gathered in the hallways, chanting, "Refund, refund." The protest spread to dormitory building number 5, and eventually the college's plan to confiscate phones was abandoned. On March 4th this year, master's students from the Jiangxi Medical School of Nanjing University gathered to demand equal pay for equal work. Just like students from other medical schools before them, they had been struggling with a meager 1,000 yuan monthly stipend and heavy clinical duties, which was just too much to bear. After about an hour, the school gates were locked, with police cars stationed outside, but protests continued inside the campus. At the end of 2023, freshmen at Tianjin Academy of Fine Arts put up posters at the dorm entrances criticizing the academy's curriculum. The posters argued that the mandatory year-long training in realistic drawing for all first-year students had no relevance to their future specialties. It was just like the drawing exercises for art entrance exams and reflected outdated teaching methods that stunted the students' academic and creative growth. The next day, the schools tore down the posters. In response, the students drew 3 frames on the wall where the posters had been removed, writing, "There used to be 3 A4 papers here." The school then spray-painted over the text, but the students wrote below the frames, "3 A4 papers were once here." Meanwhile, students in Changsha launched a protest to fight for their right to free activities. On December 27th, students from a high school in Changsha, Hunan Province, held a protest on campus, putting up posters that said, "Fight to the death for our 3-day break." The school administration eventually gave in, and the students succeeded in their protest. This marked the rise of a new generation of protesters in China. The school had reduced the 3-day New Year's break to 2 days, which sparked serious discontent among both students and teachers. Students gathered in the cafeteria and administrative buildings, putting up angry posters which encouraged more people to join the cause. They chanted for their 3-day break, and the protest eventually forced the school to give in. This was a rare, successful student-led protest in China, demonstrating a new generation of fearless and bold activists. Student movements have moved beyond the restrained, subtle tactics seen during the white paper movement of the pandemic and have adopted a more radical approach. On September 25, 2023, senior students at Pei County High School in Jiangsu Province protested against the school's decision to ban seniors from participating in the sports day. That evening, the students gathered outside the teacher's office, chanting, "Give us back our sports day." The head of the office eventually gave in but warned the students, "You've won, but you'll lose more in the end." In response, the students said, "We've lost more oppression, but we gained rest and a future of freedom and hope that belongs to us." Where there is oppression, there is resistance. We're not the only ones, and certainly not the last. We will continue to press forward, and the wheels of history will keep turning. We have already left our mark. Many people online expressed their support. It's inspiring to see students take a strong stand for their rights. Watching young people speak up for their freedom and well-being is encouraging. Sports and physical activities are crucial for a balanced life, and no one should be deprived of that. Proud of these students' resilience. Another said, "The students' response is refreshing. They've shed their chains and gained spiritual liberation and a brighter future. Perhaps this is the true essence of education. They have truly gained an opportunity to awaken, to fight for freedom, and to resist tyranny. In the future, it's up to them to choose whether to be obedient slaves, clear-minded resistors, or collaborators." On September 2, 2023, a student protest erupted at Yongcheng No. 1 High School in Yongcheng, Henan Province. Students were angry over the school arbitrarily changing their break schedule, canceling their small week breaks and turning the big week breaks from every 2 weeks to every 3 weeks. Initially, the students protested by putting up posters, but the school covered them with newspapers. In defiance, the students tore off the newspapers and put up even more posters. Eventually, this led to a large gathering of students who marched to the classroom buildings, calling the event the September 2nd Uprising. In 2022, widespread protests erupted across China against the strict zero-COVID measures, with many students taking part, causing alarm for the authorities. However, what they did not expect was that middle school students would gradually become a core force in these protests. Recently, students have been sharing online about their long school hours, lack of winter and summer breaks, and no weekends. Many schools saw protests against these harsh conditions, and quite a few succeeded. It's sad to think that students in China are forced to protest just to get a break, something unheard of in any other country. At the end of 2022, students at some schools protested for their rights when their schools did not allow the regular 3-day break policy. For example, students from Nanjing No. 14 High School protested because they were unhappy with just a 1-day New Year's holiday and demanded a 3-day break. On December 29th, they wrote slogans on the bulletin board like "Long live freedom" and "What crime is there in fighting for freedom?" And that night, they held a shouting protest in the dormitories. The school eventually compromised and extended the holiday to 2 days. According to a student representative, several thousand male and female students gathered for a shouting protest at 11 p.m. on December 28th. The school responded by sending dorm supervisors to record and identify participants, with school officials accusing the students of staging a Hong Kong-style riot. Although the school had earlier promised the student representatives that they could negotiate without facing punishment, the students' only request was to have the standard 3-day holiday. During negotiations, the school initially allowed the photography club members to record the discussions, but later reversed the decision, confiscating the students' cameras. In the end, several dozen students who participated in the negotiations were disciplined. Despite this, the student representative said he was moved by how united everyone was, and although there was a price to pay, he was proud of the courage they had to speak up. On October 6, a netizen from Hebei shared a high school daily schedule. The chart showed that students' days were fully packed, starting at 5:25 a.m. and ending between 9:40 to 10 p.m., with evening self-study sessions, and lights out only at 10:30 p.m. The netizen also mentioned that after lights out, students weren't allowed to go to the bathroom, and during class, drinking water and bathroom breaks were forbidden. Additionally, boys and girls couldn't walk side by side, and there were strict regulations on hairstyles for both genders. Many netizens commented that this seemed more like a prison than a school. They expressed concerns about rules such as not being able to use the bathroom for several hours after lights out, calling them horrifying. They felt that such schools only harm the students' mental and physical health without offering any real benefits. During the recent National Day holiday on October 1st, a parent in Shandong shared that their child, who is currently in 9th grade, was given 100 sheets of paper just for holiday test papers, not even counting the exercise book assignments. The parent remarked, "Teacher, it's a 7-day holiday, not a 7-year one." Around the same time, many parents and netizens complained about the excessive amount of homework assigned during the break. According to a 2020 report on the mental health of Chinese citizens, the depression rate among Chinese adolescents was 25%, with 17% showing mild symptoms and 7% experiencing severe depression. Around 10% of primary school students, 15% of middle school students, and 19% of high school students have psychological or behavioral problems. Experts have pointed out that the reasons behind the rise in depression among youth are complex. A psychiatrist mentioned, children and teenagers today face high academic pressure, have weaker social skills, and are often burdened by high expectations from parents. These factors contribute to the onset of depression in young people. A professor commenting on the state of Chinese education said, they drain students' energy with exams, limit their aspirations with scores, and crush their spirits with the pressure of higher education. They confuse their understanding with censored knowledge, divert their curiosity with uncertain job prospects, and finally burden them with the cost of a house. And then the world falls silent. One netizen reported that within just a few days of the new school year, the pediatric psychiatric department at Peking University 6th Hospital was fully booked. Every day, hundreds of children, unable to attend school due to mental health issues, sought help there. Some students felt so anxious that they would break down, their hands shaking when writing, and experiencing intense anxiety. It was no longer just about studying, it was impacting their daily lives. One parent shared, students aren't allowed to leave the classroom during breaks. There's no rest time at noon. Even after-school programs consist of either lessons or activities assigned by the school's student council. Children spend more time at school than their parents do at work, and even after they come home, they still have homework. How can you not feel sorry for them? Another parent criticized the schools for making children hate learning. My child said they aren't allowed to play even during breaks at school. They lost their chance to attend PE class just for talking to a friend while lining up. Unless they get an A+, the teacher won't give them a small red flower sticker. After just 1 month of elementary school, my child doesn't want to go anymore. Some online posts harshly criticize the authorities. The evil Chinese Communist Party is turning young people into extremists, lunatics, and fools. Seeing children pushed to the point of hysteria and extreme tension is truly heartbreaking. The damage being done to them will last a lifetime and is irreparable. The following text is a chant that appears to be part of a training session. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. Let's begin. Report to the commander. I am Chen Zhihan. I am a soldier of the Huangpu Special Training. I pledge that no matter what difficulties I encounter in the upcoming training, I will give my all, persevere to the end, and never give up. I request to pass, request to pass, request to pass. Remember what you said. I'm confident that you will do well. Be responsible to yourself, to your parents, to your instructors, and to all your peers in the class. This is not just an order from a superior. This is a firm belief from within. Tell me, are you ready? Yes, we're ready. One more time. Report to the commander. I am Chen Zhihan. I am a soldier of the Huangpu Special Training. I pledge that no matter what difficulties I encounter in the upcoming training, I will give my all, persevere to the end, and never give up. Request to pass. Request to pass. Request to pass. One more time. Report to the commander. I am Chen Zhihan. I am a soldier of the Huangpu Special Training. I pledge that no matter what difficulties I encounter in the upcoming training, I will give my all, persevere to the end, and never give up. Request to pass, request to pass, request to pass, pass. Keep going, keep going, keep going. This regimented chant resembles a drill or motivational session, reflecting intense and rigorous demands, likely connected to broader discussions of student stress and pressure in Chinese schools. The renowned Chinese scholar Yongcheng has delivered some of the harshest criticisms against the current state of education in China. Students have lost their sense of self because our education has lost its essence. In today's China, schools are factories, departments are warehouses, classes are workshops, and students are gears and screws being mass-produced on the assembly line. Some are gold-plated, some are copper-plated, and others coated with plastic, but the guiding philosophy and production model remain the same. The goal is to make your child a dragon. The standard is winners take all, and the method is rote memorization. The tactic is constant pressure. The pretense is that pressure brings motivation. Whether the children are genuine, kind, happy, or healthy, nobody seems to care. In a field that should put people first, it is astonishing how little regard there is for the human element. This is truly a miracle. This cannot be forgiven. Anyone who refuses to be alienated cannot forgive this. Forgiveness may be possible, but only if there's change. How can we change? By returning to the essence, which is the comprehensive and free development of individuals. Here, freedom is even more important than comprehensiveness. In fact, Chinese education at least pays lip service to comprehensive development, but never to free development. But without freedom, how can there be comprehensiveness? Moreover, any so-called development that lacks freedom, even if it is comprehensive, can at best produce all-purpose robots. No matter how versatile, robots are not our ideal, aspiration, or pursuit. Our goal should be to make everyone a true human being. This means that each student must be allowed to develop fully and freely. Only by achieving the free development of each individual can we ultimately realize the freedom of all people. On October 21st in Guangdong, a middle school student shouted from a pedestrian bridge,
Chinese students, only if you embrace British-style education can you become pillars of society. If you follow Chinese-style education, you will only become assembly line workers.
One netizen remarked, today's middle school students are really something. They've become aware so early. The Communist Party can't continue, because there will be no more chumps left to fool.